The art of the bluff is a real thing.
It is, but it's an art. If you bluff on every hand, you're going to get called. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world? Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense.
Let's hop into a Piers Morgan debate featuring Cenk Uygur as he lays into MAGA for the current madness, specifically the DOGE madness. So buckle in and give us a like on the video if you can. It helps us out a bunch. I appreciate it. And let's get into the chaos.
The idea of finding waste, fraud, and abuse has been popular forever and ever. And in fact, Al Gore actually did a pretty good job in finding a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse during the Clinton administration. They cleaned it out, and Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. So there is waste, fraud, and abuse there. The place you would start is subsidies. There's like $30 billion in oil subsidies. It's just nothing but a robbery. I can show you robbery after robbery. Corporations pay money to politicians, and they get subsidies out. I despise it. So if that's what they did, they would be intensely popular. But what did he do instead? Oh, I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of people that came in last. I'm going to fire a whole bunch of people without even looking. And then that made it really unpopular. They've somehow found a way to make fighting fraud, waste, and abuse unpopular. It's now at 37% and dropping.
Which is because their goal was not to cut fraud, waste, and abuse, but to use something popular, something hard to condemn as a cover to rob the middle and lower class and make it harder to call out. Whereas I always stress, if you're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse, if this is your real goal, you obviously start with the defense budget, something that's failed consecutive audit after audit after audit. The Pentagon has literally lost hundreds of millions of dollars in thin air. Elon Musk is subsidized $8 million a day from the Defense Department. As Cenk said, oil CEOs are getting subsidized millions, billions of dollars each year. I mean, just wait till you find out that number to make you sick. I mean, there's plenty of waste that they could rid of if they could, and it literally would have been the easiest win of all time. Instead, they just want as much cover to destroy crucial middle-class programs, give more power to the billionaires so they can not get checked and just do whatever they want to line their profits for the future. And Elon slipped up and also kind of let the cat out of the bag in these interviews, calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme and saying we should cut entitlements. Like, that's the thing that you don't say out loud.
Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, et cetera. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these DOGE cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The DOGE cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense. You know it's not going to cover the $4.5 trillion. It's a giant giveaway. Look, he's a bit of a Trojan horse for corporate rule. So he rolls in as a populist, he opens up the hatch, and then next thing you know, Elon Musk and all the tech bros come out of the horse and go, give us giant tax cuts. Give us deregulation. Fire everyone at the SEC. Fire all the inspector generals. Why? Because we're going to rob the place blind. And then we'll give me a crypto reserve filled with junk. That makes no sense at all. So trillions of dollars in robbery headed in our direction. And who's it going to help? The average American? No, it's going to rob the average American.
Yeah, corporate interests just needed a new branding scheme. I mean, given that Trump is literally a billionaire who's been anti-worker his whole life, it shouldn't have been pretty hard to figure out. But Trump promised things for the working class that he isn't going to deliver, isn't even going to try to deliver, like lower prices. Also, unelected billionaires could come in, slash the labor board, the Financial Protection Bureau, workplace standards and regulations can get rolled back, things the average person won't benefit from at all, but now allow billionaires more unchecked and unreined power to hoard more wealth, where, again, DOGE is just the cover. You claim these big numbers of fraud found, then you later revise them down. Oh, that 8 billion number, it's actually 8 million. Oh, it's actually like 500,000. When you revise them down, you don't make any announcement of it or anything, of course. It's just, you got to look for that stuff. So like 5% of the people who saw the original number see the revision, and then they're also not anything of what you claim in substance either. Oh, it's condoms to Gaza, but it's actually just contraceptives to Mozambique, and it's not 50 million, it's 45,000. But again, when you wreck our deficit 4.5 trillion in tax cuts, you can say, aha, but we cut all the fraud, so it's fine. But the whole time, the fraud is, your grandparents' health care.
New York real estate tycoons, and guess what? The art of the bluff is a real thing.
It is, but it's an art. If you bluff on every hand, you're going to get called and you're going to lose all your money. Every poker player knows that.
He doesn't bluff all the time.
He does nothing but bluffing.
He negotiates all the time.
Yeah, he does. He does. Look, I don't mind the negotiation.
Such a dog shit concession from Cenk here. Trump does not negotiate. I mean, like, to the extent that he does, it's to get a worse deal than if he just did nothing. So why would you call that negotiating? I mean, what are his deals? The Abraham Accords made tensions worse in the Middle East by leaving out the Palestinians. Trump himself is going back on the USMCA right now and doing this tariff war, which the USMCA sought to end, and has claimed that the current policy was bad, which would be the USMCA, which again, he signed. His current trade wars, tariff wars, have led to him either backpedaling on the tariffs and postponing them or removing them by being offered deals that were already on the table, like Mexico agreeing to send 10,000 troops to the border, but they were already sending 15,000 under Biden, or Canada with the border stuff, but they signed it in December under Biden as well. He literally just wants to threaten allies as a way to look tough, and then he can claim wins in place of actual legislative or foreign policy success.